we're back, and now we're going to take a look at what we did with our last assignment in our first illustration, which is here. And if you'll take a look at this thumbnail sketch that I've done here, or this sketch here actually, this is the idea that we're going to go for. We're going to take these very simple, very casual, easily drawn, one-point boxy forms in sky plane, ground plane, and also at relative eye level. And we're going to use now those as the devices to make flying Star Wars spaceships, rebel spaceships, if you will. So that's the next step in how we go about doing that. So this is the concept sketch here, and you'll notice that again what I've done is I've used the perspective that we have, one-point perspective, in the box forms as the guiding structure to draw our forms over that. So all of these ships. We're going to go through this again and do a little bit better, nicer job, and really kind of finish this out in a nice sketch, conceptual sketch, and we'll use one-point perspective to get there. So that's what we're going to go for as we work our forms here. All right, so from very big to smaller. All right, so let's go back to our view here of our forms, our one-point forms, and we'll put this in full screen mode with menu bar, so we'll see that. And I've also got layers on, so I've got the layer that we'll draw on, then I have the background layer of what we see now. So if I turn that off, all of it off, and then back on again, you see the whole scene. So that way I can have this image completely clean, and I can toscillate back and forth from it, toggle back and forth from it, and we can see cleanly kind of what we have. So I'm using the Cintiq, Wacom Cintiq, the 22-inch screen hard drive, or high def touch. And if you don't have that, you can use simply just tracing paper. You can take your drawing that we've done together, put tracing paper over it, and do this same thing. It really works in the same way. Okay. All right. So let's get started. So I'm going to start popping up on the screen Star Wars ships, and I've got the first one here, which is kind of a frigate machine. And we're going to use that as our image guide for our, let's bump up here, image here, go a little bit higher, and with our perspective, and we'll start working through there. So I think I'll put this first ship maybe, I don't know, right here down below, I think. So we'll pull that in a little bit. And I'm using a ruler. I've got my ruler, got my hard edge, and I'm using a Photoshop brush. And we'll take this down a little opacity a little bit to maybe 20-25%. We'll see how that works out. And we'll just start at it. So the first thing we're going to do, remember, everything that we do starts to work with one-point perspective. So I might say, come up here, okay, these might be extended and they come out a little bit, so I'm just going to angle this line, draw over a little bit through here. Let me take that nib down a little bit from 12 down to about 7 or so. And we'll come in through here. I could bring a vertical to kind of check that and through here, check that and through here. So watch for a while, draw along with me if you want, and then once you get the hang of it, start to draw and create on your own. I'm going to go through entire drawing and just see what's available, what we have. So I'm going to pull this down and over, right? Nice vertical coming over and through here, just sketchy. Keep it loose, keep it sketchy, use your ruler, going back to the vanishing point when I can. Now, I can't see it in my view, so I'm approximating it, and that's okay. Everything that when I need depth, when I need to go deep, I'm using my vanishing point. It's really important important to know in through here. Okay, coming in through here. So this might come in. I might not see all of this ship coming here. I want to make this body a little bit longer, kind of going underneath this one here. And the scale is so big that these ships really wouldn't hit one another. The human scale of this, I might put a little figure somewhere maybe out here and say the human scale might be, if I put a little, if you can see that right in through, that's a figure. And so these are a couple of figures just standing for now, just to give you the scale. So there's a lot of space, and they may be 6 foot kind of figures. So there's a lot of scale there. It's large scale. All right, so we're coming in through here. Got that coming down, tighten that up and through there. Okay, so this might go back somehow and through here. We'll see that coming over. This might get squeezed in through here. So as we're building, we're just creating, having fun, using some photo reference for visual reference, altering and changing if we want. Now this top box over here, this one, that will be a different ship in through there. So we've got this, we've got that through here. These might start to split open. I'll make these just a little bit darker in through here. You know, as you sketch and you see other convergence lines in through here and through here, you can kind of get a feel for when you're just sketching without having to go, and that's the point, is just to sketch without having to be so technical and worry about so much scale and measuring, which we'll get into when we go into really kind of hardcore, what I'll call hardcore, more perspective, which is just as creative. It's all creative. So bringing my verticals down so I can later on have thrusters in through here. Okay, let me come in through there like that, down. So like that. May curve that over, put some more detail in through here. So maybe these thrusters come in at not every slot, so I'm just kind of creating on the fly here. So this might come down a little bit darker in through there. And I can build one verticals here just for separating divides in through here. And maybe they set in, they're going to sit in deeper, like somewhere through here, so I can put vertical line in through here where there's a depth in there. So we're looking at the inside through here. Darken this up further. Go over that a little bit more. Through here to make it look machiny but keep it, sketchy. We could spend hours and hours. And so maybe a booster I have is, maybe I'll put 2 for each. So I'll put a booster in here, rocket booster, exhaust, maybe in through there, then another one down in through here, and I can control their height by the vertical here and here through. Nice and just sketchy circle. And then I could pop this up if I want. Go a little bit larger. Let's see. Let's go to hand here. We could really start to see it. And then these can kind of have a perspective going back to the vanishing point a little bit here. They're kind of, again, cylinders sitting in through, and they kind of disappear through here like so. And they have a little kind of machined quality, so I'm going to put like little machine-like areas into here. Maybe I'll bump up my opacity just a little bit so we can start to see that. And they might go back into here. Keep it loose. And then go back in perspective, maybe in through here. And then, of course, there's the other booster opening. It's going to be a little off-center because it's pushed over from the center point, center vision to here. There might be another booster hole in through there, and I could put a little bit of shadow here if I want in our sketch, and we could repeat the same thing over and through here. So I might get an outer shell and then go for the inside, and then one more. You could bring the verticals down to control the measuring there if you want a little bit. If you want to do that, it's totally fine. These kind of are jagged, so I'll put little dots here for now, just to save time. So remember, it's a sketch, so we could spend hours and days and weeks. And we'll do that. I'll do that later on in this channel. I'm building this channel to be very, very basic to very, very specific and much more detailed. But we have other advanced areas later that we'll get into, even lots more detail. So this might have a little. We come down here. This might come up. These are just true verticals, true horizontals. I'm just putting some. I could just put a light guiding line through there. Some detailing through here, just sketching it out really quickly. Going through and adding just what looks like mechanical type detail. And through here, okay. So now I could bring, so I think I'll put 6 of these boosters in, okay. And so I know where I want to house them. Here's the depth line back here and back here. This goes back to the vanishing point here, right in through there. So you can kind of see where they're like little closets, 1, 2, and 3, where I can put these things in, these rocket booster engines, the exhaust part of it coming out. Thermodynamics, for the, primitive, starships that they have, right, for their time. Okay, so we've got this circle in through here, so maybe you could put a crossing X to kind of find a center in through here, right? You could do that if you wanted to help you out with your circle. It's a little bit smaller. Bring this kind of measurement from here to here over, and maybe it's going to fit right in through here. So there's one. Then I can bring a vertical down really quickly. And I could bring a horizontal over all the way. Forgot about that. Right in through there. Right in through there, just to give them consistency and then stay within the sketchy boundaries there, right? So we have that there. Through here and through there. So we kind of feel our way through. So there's the other booster. Okay, here. And through there. Right. And then we can put our inside a little bit. Here. This might disappear a little bit more since it's further out from our center of vision. We get further away. So we might see a little bit less of that inside. We certainly would. These would go back a little bit. They're actually kind of tapered cylinders. And through here, and through here, so we have those nice rocket boosters. All right, so there we go. We've got some things going on. I might put a little bit of extra tail thing out through here. Same thing out through here. And then if I wanted to extend them out further from this point here, right, outwards, go back from the vanishing point, right, go back and then take them up, or excuse me, take them out. This could be some kind of sensory device of some sort. And through here and over. Maybe there's not one at the top. Okay, so we have that. And then we'll work a little bit of this side in through here, over here on the left side. Maybe we'll pull this in a little bit. I could take that in, curve this over, come over, curve that over and through. So remember how we find our centering X through here, right? And through here to maybe find some forms. Maybe there's going to be some kind of vertical, machine kind of vertical there. Coming through. Maybe this has another sensory object. This could be curved. Maybe this is going to be really rounded through here. This is rounded. So I'll bring this down a little bit. so we can see that. There we go, see it a little bit better. Go back to my brush. And then maybe this has got some antenna things coming up through here, different various sizes. Some kind of thing sitting on top. And if I wanted to find a center here, there's an X in through here, X in through there. Maybe it's got some kind of machined-like things coming in through. And you could really go to town with lots of detail. So there's this kind of on the side here, there's this kind of cool thing coming out. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller as it sort of angles out. I'm kind of imagining what it feels like coming out and angled. So they both kind of come up like so. Here's where I'm at, if you couldn't see that. And this kind of slightly comes up to and out like so. And we're just approximating it. And this kind of has an ellipse, and I'll curve it back this way so we can't see that, the opening part of it. Got it through there. This would maybe curve on over. I'll darken this in through here. This might curve on over, catch that line, and we'll put a little bit of shadow tone over through here, little hatching marks. We're kind of on our way, so we'll pull out a little bit, and maybe these go in down here, like so. And let's take a look and see what we have here. Okay, so we pull out a little bit here now. We'll go back to our brush tool, our hand tool, excuse me, and we'll pull down a little bit, and voila, there we go. So we've got our first kind of frigate ship in. Okay, so what we did, we created our first ship, our first flying spaceship, and notice that everything is moving to the 1-point vanishing point, which we set up. And I want to emphasize something too in our drawing, is that I'm going to keep the eye level because that's relevant, but the horizon line is out and is gone, and the reason why is we're in outer space now. So there wouldn't be a horizon line, but there still is an eye level. So I want to keep that clear, because anything above our view now is above eye level, and then these three boxy forms are certainly going to be relative eye level too as well. All right, so let's do another one. So let's come up here or down here, and let's do another frigate, another passenger or kind of a hauling passenger device. And let's see what happens here too. So we'll do something kind of similar to the other one. So for this ship, I think what I'll do then is I'll take our boxy form and then I'll make it a little bit smaller. Let's find our center, crossing X. We know how to do that really, right? Right there, right there. Okay, so we've got that. We're good to go there. Let me go down maybe to about 6. And so we can find that. Let's find our center here. Let's find our center there. And the reason why I did that, I'm going to change the shape of this ship a little bit. From the back point, I'm going to go here a little bit and just find a line I want. Bring this over a little bit to our center and over a little bit, and then sketch this over. And that's going to be kind of the shape of our ship now a little bit. So I'm going to come up here, and then I'm going to have a fin that comes up maybe right here's my my vertical and through here. Now the other vertical is going to be higher. This is coming back in perspective, so we'll have a fin that looks kind of like that back to the vanishing point. Now I can't see the vanishing point. I'm relating it a little bit to this one right over here to the right and through here. Okay, so I'm just sketching and relaxing and enjoying the process, working on 1-point perspective. And so let's make another kind of fin coming out from it here, touches, and I'll just draw all the way through a little bit. And we'll come back, from the vanishing point out here, and then out's going to be a little like this, and through here, so we've got that. And then I'm going to curve these a little bit here, like so. Come back through and over, and then we'll give it a thickness in through here. So we've got a little bit of a curve. Now I'll bring this up like so, and I'll darken this in a little bit so we can see it better. Here, and then here, and then sort of down and over like so, and almost shorten this in. Don't worry about it, just sketch over it. Enjoy it. If you want to copy this one, great. If not, that's okay too. So there might be some kind of mechanical exploratory devices on these two, so I'll put little lines in through little sort of dots, funnels and things that go down in through here, kind of like so. So there's my top, and then here's the end of my ship, kind of right in through there a little bit. So let's curve this a little bit. Let's curve that over and over like so. And so the outer edges of the box are not visible anymore. We've sculpted it. We've taken it away a little bit. And so now I'm going to bring this down a little bit like so. I'm just going to sketch this down like here. Move it over, come down, just kind of just guiding you through my creative process. Yours might be different later on. Well, it should be, right? So I'm going to bring a line over here just for effect. Kind of come over, kind of come over. So I might say that this flaps down by some hatch marks like that. This could flap in like so. Here's my true center, right? Yep, in through there. Okay, so we've got that. I'll boost my drawing a little bit and through there. Okay. Whoops. Let's go back here. My hand, bring it over. Okay. There we go. Let's bring it back over here. That's it. Okay. Stuff happens. There's another word I could say, but I won't. Stuff happens when you draw. Okay. Through and through there. All right, so let's think about now what I can do to the bottom here. We want to have boosters, thrusters coming in. So this goes back. We won't really see much here. We can't see in perspective, so we could see inside and through here and through there. Maybe this has a little bit of a bottom and through here. Later on, these could be some kind of landing devices that might come out and through here. Some kind of landing feet, if you will. A little bit further in here. 1 point perspective coming in. We're still over to the right of our center of vision. And then we could put boosters in through here. So maybe I'm going to make them, let me take this up a little bit so we can see it. There we go. Bring it over a little bit so when we could put boosters in through here. It'll be a little bit different look. Sort of skinny, long, oval kind of boosters in through here, and they go back a little bit here and there. And it might have exhaust nodules into here a little bit. Again, the emphasis on using perspective creatively is to not have to worry about every single line. Quite frankly, it's a lot more fun. Through here and through there, maybe these have a little thing down below, just kind of making up on the fly. So we can find this center, just bring it over, top, relate it to there, and just mimic the same shape as we come over. So maybe here and here, like so, and down and over. This goes back about right there. We see a little bit of that inside and through there, maybe and through, and maybe we see just a little bit of inside there. So we have a booster nodule, exhaust coming through, there, maybe another one here, and then one more right in through there too as well. And I could kind of put this all a little bit back into tone, and this could go down. Then maybe things could come out of here. So where's our vanishing point? So we've got a little bit to the left through here. Okay, and then maybe some more cutout things that don't follow the perspective, but go to the shape of the ship itself and through here. And maybe there's another one through here, some kind of maybe aerodynamic space travel device, I don't know. Just making stuff up. That's cool too. Through here, through here. So remember our human scale, it's pretty tiny, right? All right, so let's see, let's pull out a little bit. If I can do that without messing up the drawing. There we go. And so we've got another one, another spaceship coming in through here. We're flying through. So down here, way down here in my drawing where that hand is, that's the scale of human figures. So we're at pretty large scale. Now I haven't really scaled and referenced anything, and we're not going to do that in this lesson. We're just enjoying it. So if I take a layer off, we can take here off, and we can kind of see how we're building this, going from simple forms that we drew earlier, and then we're adding complexity, using perspective to add complexity to give us a nice, visual scene of spaceships here, Star Wars ships, or something there enough. Okay, so let's go. Let's add further now. Let's go and work. This ship may be here, where my the hand is here. So let's go out and in. Actually, over. We'll come up just a little bit through here so we can see it. Go back to our brush, and let's create something else, something anew from it here. Let's see. Let's take another one, and maybe we'll create from this one, maybe an X-wing type fighter. All right, so we've got a lot of box here. It doesn't necessarily conform to our shape, so we'll take lots of creative license here. We'll kind of work something through. So I'll start to sketch in maybe where I want the back hub of the X-wing fighter maybe to be here. Okay, so we're going to carve out a little bit in through here. So I'll take that. And I've got this kind of rectangle part, which is going to be for the hub of the body in through here, the main part of the body. Now, we're going back to the vanishing point. We'll work this together, work it out together. We're working in through here, right, and up and over and here. So that's kind of what that would look like. But now I'm going to just start sketching it and altering that, going out a little bit further, which it needs to be to fulfill the body type. And the scale may not be right for the scale of the human beings, but I'm not worried about that. Let's just draw. For now, we'll get that later. Now, these might come in more. We might taper, so I'm not going to follow necessarily the one-point perspective anymore. So I might come in through here, close that off a little bit further, and this tends to come up, right, and over kind of this way, so we can see something that might look like that in our composition. So we're going from boxy form in our imagination now, not from observation, and we're making complex forms, but now we're locking in also to Star Wars as well. Now this could go back to one point vanishing point and through here, lock up and come up in through there and over. So this might hub up, come through. Okay, can't tell if it comes down. I'm just going to make it down and through here. Okay, and of course later on these have boosters in through here. If you're a diehard enthusiast, don't be too critical. So we'll put a booster These are a little bit more oval here, and through going back, another oval, and through going back and through here. You can see maybe the exhaust coming out and through here. Dividing line up. Another, so you could bring the horizontals up if you want. We can draw another exhaust booster through here and over. And then we could draw verticals down to get their positioning a little quicker. And their sketch. Remember, it's a sketch, looser and free. The point is to use perspective as a strong creative tool is what we're looking for. All right, so we have that and through. Maybe this comes over a little bit more, like so. Okay. And so it's got these now big thing, boosters kind of on the side in through too as well. I'm going to put this back in shadow just to take the bite off of it a little bit in through here. So we've got 4 of those kind of coming up. I'll put one over here, get a feel for it, how it goes together. One, and then bring this down, right? It has another one kind of underneath it, like so. 1, 2, and I could bring this over in perspective here and here, right? And then kind of lock them in together and through there. So maybe the other booster engine here and here, like so. Could put little diagrammatic, little mechanical looking engineering whatevers on it, make it look pretty cool. And that's just straight across perspective. Now we have to worry about depth a little bit. So we'll go back to the vanishing point here, and I'll make it about that deep. This will curl over. Same thing here. This will start to curl up and over, like so. We'll do the same, go back to our vanishing point. I'm just feeling it intuitively because we can't see it, we're so deep in, and that's okay. That's probably actually better if you want to feel your way through. But if you need to, always line up your ruler to the vanishing point that you're going to, and you'll never be wrong. That's part of the key. But I want you to see this deeper as I go through, so we'll get this, play around with these boosters, these rocket exhausts, if you will, and through here. All right, coming through. Okay, so we're cooking with gas pretty good, I think, in through here. So we've got, this maybe comes down and over a little bit to the vanishing point through. Of course, we wouldn't see that other side where the pilot would be. You might see a window here, and then that little shaft where R2 would peek up and out would be about right in through here. He would come up as just a tube, and through here we would see slightly underneath and over, so he could be there. And our sketch might be a little high, don't care. Okay, don't care. Now we've got the wings, so I'm going to extend the wings out further than the ends of the box because we'll need to, and through here. So we'll sketch them out, gesture them out. So I'll come out and say, how long do I want to make them? Maybe about right in through here. That seems to be okay. And we'll come up and just start working with straight horizontal, and we'll bring that all the way kind of across. They kind of have this little shapy form in through here that starts first, kind of a triangular form, whatever that is, where they come together really beautifully. Then they come out, and then we're in a closed position since we're not attacking anybody right now. It's peacetime here and here, right? So we have that. Maybe I need to make this a little bit longer into here in my sketch. Okay, like so. I'll make this a little bit shorter just to feel that in perspective. All right, so they do have a thickness. So I'm using this line as a helper guide for to go back to my vanishing point. So about right in through there, and then I'll close it off a little bit. Maybe right through there. And same thing, now I could bring this line all the way over to there, right? This could close off, go back to the vanishing point about right through there. I feel like this needs to be a little bit longer, maybe like so, in my drawing. All right, so I've got that. Now the last thing is I want to put those little laser gun things on there, and so it's got one at the top and one at the bottom. So I'll start with an oval, ellipse, go to both sides, and then we're just going back to the vanishing point. So let's intuitively figure it out in through here, and they're just about the same distance. Maybe they hang over a little bit. This one disappears underneath, and it's got that sort of extra extension in through there with a dark line, and then this kind of curls through kind of like that. And the same thing. So we go back now to the vanishing point. This convergence line here I can kind of use as my guide in through here. Let me actually pull out, and you can see it. Let me help. Okay, so as we're drawing, and then I'll finish this off, and see now I can align up, and that's a pretty good job of aligning up my ruler, not bad. If you're off a little bit while you're just sketching, hopefully you have enough experience now, you'll be able to tell when you're really seriously off. Now I can bring this turret, this little laser end all the way over to help me with that space over through here, just bringing that through there, and there we go. I think we've got a decent looking X-Wing fighter. Probably the scale is too big. I don't care. It works okay, I think, for our figure scale. You know what? Maybe we'll change our scale. Maybe the figures down here will go, let's go back down. We can always adjust our creativity, right? So we can take maybe now the scale of our pilots. Okay, we'll have a female. We'll start out with the female here. Let's see. Our female pilot. Won't be probably too much. Maybe she'll have a robe on. I don't want to be sexist, but we'll put a robe. She can have anything she wants on there, and then our male pilot might be here. And so we're just here again, we're just figuring out scale. And so he might have arm and hand coming down, and so I'll put a little line here, and we'll call this, yeah, let's see, let me go to 2 or 3, yeah, 4. This is our scale. We're pretty deep in there. All right, that's our scale for our pilots. That's a very intuitive kind of scale. There's no referencing points or measuring points at all. We'll get into that at a much later date, actually. And you can see how you can really kind of control that. So there's our scale now with our male and female pilot. So that still might be too small, but I think it's totally fine, as we're just you're getting the idea in through here. So right, so we've got that, and I could put a little bit of just hatching in through there. And if I wanted to do a little bit more, let's come over and get our brush back to hand, go up a little bit, pull it down, and we'll do a little bit more shading in through here, just a touch. It's not a really shading example. We'll go a little bit bigger with our nib to maybe in the 20s, and let's see what can happen. Have a little bit more fun in through here. So I like to draw with the painting tools. These are oil, actually. It looks like a nice kind of charcoal or a dark kind of ink or marker, which I like. Sometimes they dry when the brushes don't work as well in my purview, but you will find your own way over time. But these are just, I think this is oil number 1 and Kyle brushes. So I'm just putting down a little bit of extra tone just to kind of bring that out a little bit here and there, and that's plenty for now. Okay, so let's pull out a little bit and see where we're at. Okay, so we've got our three ships going down. We've got a little scale down there to where our pilot's going. So they're medium to smaller sized kind of ships, and they're all going back into this tunnel, which is here in the middle. So maybe we'll work on that. That's kind of a very freighter kind of hull where it's a docking station. So let's do something here where we go in. We'll make this one, and it should be pretty. It's got to be gigantic in terms of scale. So it's far away. So that means that if we get closer to it, it's going to be even bigger. So let's go to our pin through here, and we'll bring our nib down to about 6 or 7. Okay. Opacity seems pretty good, so let's see what we can do with this guy in through here. So we'll find our center in through here. Now we're looking up and inside of this object, so we might bring up something from the center and things off center, just bringing some lines up for measuring, and this might be a huge kind of device of some kind or sort. Later on it comes up and over. And through here it could be telecommunications. They could be all over here actually. Don't necessarily know, but it's got some hints of kind of ships and things and of space-like kind of quality. Star Wars. We're going to make this off-center and angled a little bit here and here because we can really bring it over. So now it's just pure creativity, it's just pure, okay, what can we do with this? Maybe this flaps down. I want to make that symmetrical here, and this kind of comes in through there like so and over, okay? Like that is through there. And then maybe this has even more kind of Star Warsian kind of quality. So this is a pretty simple, kind of form. Maybe we'll give it more of an elegant curve here, okay, and in, like so. These go in and in. And then now if we wanted to show like little, mechanical devices here, kind of just bring them over and relate them together. Especially if I'm going horizontal or vertical, I could just bring lines over to help me. If I'm going back deep into depth, these would go back down to the vanishing point. So maybe they're along the inside wall a little bit too as well, all the way through, so they would look like kind of like that. Same thing down here, down there. See how I can pull my ruler down really quickly, boom, 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 and just make a mark and move and sketch really quickly to get the impression of it. And I'm using kind of, perspective to come through. So maybe this has, really strong inside slats to come in and through here and downward, just going right back here to the vanishing points there. This kind of mechanical devices, and maybe this has another, subset of things coming on through here, through there. So maybe this has now a wing of some sort coming out. So we're very flat here because there's no perspective, right? It's just a shape, and we'll come down, and back in. That lines up together. Okay, and I won't bring that on the inside. Okay. So these are where ships might dock or they might set in. So we might put some platforms, rectangle just to show platform, and later on this could be another ship coming in like so, just like we've drawn a box, the side, just for sketchy purposes, and they might be coming in, there might be some sitting in through here, and we can't even see we won't even see human beings because they would be so tiny as to not even register. So maybe we'll come back over and we'll do something like this. Another booster sets. And maybe this has, maybe right at eye level, it has a strong wing coming out this way and this way. Here and here, like so. We don't see down or in, right? Because they're right back to the vanishing point if we wanted to see any kind of depth. So maybe this has a thicker wall here and gets blocked off there. And this has a thicker wall down. And see how quick and creative. Hopefully you'll see that we can certainly be through here. Maybe these have more platforms coming in. Now we're looking up now too, because we're down below. So perspective. This is a platform where ships would be stored. There's another platform here. Perspective down, and there's the back of that one too as well. So we might see something where ships come in and they dock in through here at different levels, etc. Maybe there's some kind of big opening that goes somewhere else inside there, and maybe another one here. They have all kinds of things. Maybe they go into a different docking area. We could bring this line up just for effect, and through there and through there, just to have a tremendous amount of variety and also fun with it. So let your imagination really start to push and run through. Now I've got these little things setting up. If I want to get them the same height, I can bring this a line over, horizontal line over, bring that over. Now we can go back to the vanishing point here, right? And we can go back to the vanishing point there, right? And also there, and there it's some kind of long sort of flap device, and maybe it's got antenna, all kinds of things coming in and down, and who knows what that is, and through there. Okay, so let's pull out a little bit. Let's take a look and see what we've got here. Okay, so let's see. So go in with our brushes. Now we need our hand over through here. Where'd it go? Come back. There we go. All right, so we'll go, whoops. I'm going to go that way. There we go. We'll go in and down a little bit and over. All right, so I feel like I need something on the bottom of it a little bit. Let's see. Should have our tool set. Where's our tool set coming in? Kind of lost it a little bit. There it goes. So maybe something below down here a little bit. And I'm gonna draw it far away. So down in through here, down in through here. And so you can see that kind of coming up together through here and through here. Okay. Just an extra piece. Kind of down and in, and maybe it actually disappears and goes down longer. But that's going to overlap, so we won't show that one. All right, so we've got now another docking frigate where all these ships are going to. So that's kind of the idea. So all these ships are going to this docking, this frigate area. So now I'm back. I've taken the liberty to go forward now and develop further structures within the composition. So let's take a look and see what I've got here. If we take the layers off like so, we disappear all that. It's like if you're drawing on tracing paper, it would be like you taking your tracing paper off of your underneath 1 point simple form box drawings. And if I put the layer back on, we've got our forms back in our composition. So again, hopefully you can see if I jump in a little bit here and do kind of the same thing, how the underpinning of all these forms, to give them their clarity, their sensitivity, and their accuracy to perspective is all governed by our underdrawing, our undergirding in our 1 point perspective. It's all right there, it comes out, and then everything goes back to 1 point perspective. Now, not every single angle. When I'm using auxiliary angles, like for instance in this frigate ship, these angles here, some of these, these particular angles, this curve in through here, not everything goes back, and that's fine. Where you're creating on your own and you're using your ingenuity. But for the most part, these forms will converge and go back to our 1 point vanishing point. And remember the 4 applications that we always carry with us, right? And if you don't know them yet, that's okay. I'm going to keep this vocabulary in your mind, and then when we really need, and I'll explain it further in depth, then you'll hopefully can put that together if you go forward with us. It's eyeline. Everybody has an eyeline. Everybody has a center of vision. Everybody has a cone of vision. And then lastly, everybody has a station point. Those are the 4 things that you bring with you. Those are your 4 innate, born, birthed tools that we use to see. Okay, so let's push forward now. I want to spend a little bit more time and finish this little sketch out together. And I've got these 2 forms here, this vertical, strong vertical here, and this strong kind of horizontal rise coming closer to us. And I want to combine them in a way to make another ship. So I'm using Star Wars ships as inspiration. They're not exactly to a T. And that's okay. If you're a Star Wars diehard enthusiast, you're going to be disappointed, and so what? Now, use it as inspiration. You could do anything you want. We could draw people out of this. We could draw World War II airplanes, World War I. Hopefully you'll get the idea. So let's take, in my drawing now, let's take these 2 ship ideas and let's combine them into one. So let me go back now to my brush, and we'll just start to sketch, and we'll see what happens. Again, I'm sketching with the Cintiq Wacom 22-inch screen, high def, and I'm using obviously the drawing tool, the stylus, but I'm using an oil application that I think is really nice for drawing. Gives it a nice look. Sometimes the wet media looks better a little bit than the dry. All right, so I've got this form here. I want to look underneath here, so I'm going to set another set of perspective lines in through here. So I'm going to take this over to about right there, converge it in, and I've got that form. So I'm going to be looking up into this space a little bit. So let's go in a little bit deeper. I'll come over here to the hand. Getting better at controlling this thing. Excuse me if I got confusing earlier, and I'll screw up again. So, oh well, I ain't perfect, and you're probably, well, you might be. You might be. That's cool. I hope you are. Okay, so I want this opening in through here. It's kind of like an aircraft carrier, but for ships. I think I'll do something like that. That might be kind of fun. I'm just winging this on the fly. Okay, so we've got this. So this might be rigid. This might come up and have a little curve kind of to it, and through here sketch it out. Here's where the apex of my arch might be, and through here this would come down to the 1 point vanishing point, kind of like so. Maybe it would come all the way through. That could be maybe kind of cool. Don't know yet. So just going to put some designs on this to make it look sort of mechanical, if I can. And through here, maybe there's some kind of information that goes along in through there to make it look like it's got something of a futuristic look to it. And this might be some kind of the top part of the platform, and through here, and coming down over, I'll find my center X. This is how I'm creating it. How are you going to do it? That's part of what hopefully this assignment is about too, is how are you going to create your forms and do what you want with them. Ships, whatnot, whatever. Okay, and through here. And so maybe this has got another line or two down in perspective. These lines go in perspective through there. So I'm going to darken this in here so we can really see this as an opening really come through. And this might come in and have a little bit more of maybe a design this way. These might come in because they would lock maybe with oh, another side of it as well, and through here. Okay, so that would come on over and through and up. Maybe these would pull over like that, like that, like that. If you mess up a line, don't worry about it. Sketch it out. A couple lines are crooked, as long as they're not too terrible. It's okay. Let it be a sketch. Let it be a design. So this will disappear a little bit down in through, right in through there, even though it's about that size. So we'll come up in through here. All right. So that might have something over there. This might be like a barrier of some sort. So maybe spaceships are going to sit. Maybe there's a spaceship sitting out here. Maybe the Millennium Falcon is parked on top of here, kind of like so, through here. It's over maybe. So it's sitting, it's docked, being carried in for repairs. Kind of maybe right in through there. So it's sitting down into here. And so this is kind of up looking like so. Close that in. And so this is, so maybe the front parts I'll make, and we'll go to the vanishing point here, but we'll make it a little bit more aerodynamic, space dynamic. So we'll come this way in maybe, and maybe to there. And then maybe we're going to curve this over like so. And then down and through, and it would meet up to maybe right here and over. Yeah, like so. And maybe it would have another engine type thing coming out. This attached to it a little bit there. Kind of like so. Coming off that way. And maybe another one there, like a little hub type thing, and vice versa down here, over, like so. And then maybe the exhaust, would we see, maybe we'd see it like that. Just guesstimating, like so. This might come out, and then we have a little exhaust out here. Same thing over, something kind of like that. All right, so we come down in through there, and I like the way this kind of ends through here. And I'm going to just kind of shade that down a little bit, like so, and then put a little bit more girding in through here. Have a little mechanical detail that goes back to the vanishing point here and here. So it has a little bit of a ship look to it. It's a very simple kind of aircraft, spacecraft sort of transport together with everything else. Make this look a little bit better. Through here. So just obeying the laws of the rules of one-point perspective, getting that procedure down and then using it quickly as a sketch tool, as a wonderful sketch tool. Okay, so I have something there. So now we're going to connect the two. So how am I going to do that? Well, let's see. So I'll pull in now again, and I'll bring this over so we can see it. So maybe this is a good view here for now. So take that. So this might come in like that. This might come on over. This might come in and then come over there. There's some kind of maybe way that human beings could walk into this kind of area between the two ship structures and come in together. They would come here. This could be a great long tunnel hallway. Maybe before we end this drawing, I'll project the scale of the figures that I have all the way back to vanishing point and show you like how small they would be. They'd be kind of tiny dots or points on these structures. A little platform in here, maybe they could look through and come through. All right, so this whole thing might be another kind of landing strip. So maybe I could extend this out a little further here. There we go. Now, out this way and over. Let me curve that in. Maybe this thicknesses can kind of come up in here. Maybe this is some kind of protective undergirding there. Like so. And this curves over and in. And then we have maybe a top, another tower kind of structure. Maybe that opens up like that and then over and down. Go back to the vanishing point there. And there, coming in and over. And this is where ships would set in, right in through there. So maybe I'd put one ship over here. Just a really quick sketch of it, maybe. So here's where would be the boosters, and through here, coming over, maybe wings of some sort coming through here, maybe some kind of top in through here. And we keep that really loose and sketchy so we can plow forward through here. And so let's pull out a little bit. Let's see what we've wrought here, rendered. So we're moving on with that. So let's see, let's pull back in so we can see a little bit better through here. Okay, so to finish this out, so let's go back to our brush tool. I might take the opacity up to about 50 or so, maybe 50, it says 52 there, and work with this here and see what I can do here. So maybe this on this back end, this has a little rocket propulsion back in through here, down. And it's kind of the center right in through there. So maybe there's two. Let's go up a little bit and let's go in. There we go, so we can see a little bit better. And so maybe this whole thing is one rocket of boosting exhaust in through here. Here, just winging it, making it up as we go along. And this might go in a little bit, and we might see this whole thing like a concentric tunnel just a little bit. And just getting this shape a little loose and through here. And maybe these have structures coming off the edge really quickly, kind of going right to the inside center, sort of. And this maybe straightens out. And we could sit here all day and night and have fun. So I'll render this out pretty quickly. You can take your time and do a really clean job. So maybe this gets in through here. So maybe this is where we see the end of that coming through. Of course, this would come all the way over and through here, kind of like that, and over through. Or that might be a entrance platform there. Kind of looks like that more so. So maybe I'll make something, just a few lines coming across there. All right, so let's pull back out and take a look. Yeah, kind of sorted, isn't it? All right, good. Okay, that's fine too. All right, so I'll end this big frigate ship here, over on the back end and through here, and maybe I'll bring this over as a curve a little bit, and then come in and dig in a little bit. Maybe follow the strong vertical right there, and then come down and over like so. Maybe give it another little little kind of platform across. Who knows what we could do with it right in through there. And we're kind of on our way. Let's see. So I might take my nib and just put a little darken through there a little bit. Kind of make that go in just a little bit. I think that works decently well. Take this back down to what it was before, 7. I think so, right? Okay. So let's pull around and see what we've got. So we've got one more ship to go. So if we take this view, we go here. Let's take a look how perspective is helping us out. So one last time there, right? So that's what we started out with for illustration number 1, and now we're in illustration number 2. And we're going back to our layers, just toggling on and off. It's a nice structural guide to help put these spaceships all together in 1 point perspective. So if we have, I'll show you something here with our figures. Here's our scale, right? And so we can bring up this scale. Let me go back to our pins. So if I come over and draw them here. So let's say they're both male and female. Female's first over there. Let's say they're both 6 foot. So this is 6 foot in scale running through there. Let's move this up. We'll just move this up here. And I'll bring that distance. It's about right there. Okay, that's 6 feet. Okay, that line is 6 feet. So 6 foot. I'll just say that line. So that means that if I take from that point and I go back to the vanishing point with my top and bottom of that line here. Okay, I'm lining it up, going all the way back and going all the way back and through here. That means that a 6 foot figure will be right about, let me line that back up for me, about right over here. That's a 6 foot figure, that little dot there. Here's a 6 foot figure right there. Little dot. That's about as big as I can make it. So that gives you an idea of how big these ships are. So that's probably too small a scale right here to go into that X-wing fighter, but that's okay. It's just an exercise on getting comfortable with 1 point perspective in a very informal, simple form kind of way. Later on, if we want to be truthful, I'll show you techniques to get that working. Now, if you wanted to take and say, okay, so this is a 6 foot figure there, you could take this line and you could draw it all the way across here, here and here, and there's your 6 foot figure standing on the deck, the top of that. So there's your 6 foot figure there, and so they fit pretty nicely inside this spaceship carrier. So this would be 6 foot figures or forms inside that ship. They sit pretty nicely, which actually the scale fits kind of nicely with the Millennium Falcon figure, kind of up in through there. So that certainly can be a decent scale for that. It's probably too small for the X-wing fighter, but that's okay. All right, so let's go on. So again, what we did there, we just referenced a little bit of scale. I'm going to go deeper into that later on, but we brought this 6 foot distance up. We didn't have to change. We didn't change our depth, so we could bring this line all the way up to this point here, and then we projected it back to our vanishing point, and then this makes that a 6 foot figure. This is a 6 foot figure here, 6 foot figure there, etc. and so on as we go forward and backwards, and you get the idea of scale change. All right, so let's go on to our last ship in through here, kind of tall and vertical and very much looking up too, right? So we're down below and we're looking up to this ship. So make it a little bit bigger, center it a little bit so you can see it. See it a little bit more. Told you I'd mess up. Boom, there we go. All right, so now we can kind of see it a little bit more. So our last one, I might do this kind of cool sort of nebulous frigate. It's kind of like a American football with a long stem on the end of it. It's kind of wild looking. So let's do that one. Again, these are all rough. I'll pop these photos up from time to time, but I'm not going to belabor them because they're not exact replicas of my drawings. They're just inspiration. All right, so to give you an idea of what I'm thinking. Take my opacity down a little bit, okay? So first off, I need kind of a cylinder form, so I might take this idea and just extend it out here, okay? This is the end of it. It's moving in this direction, right, through. And I'll take it maybe and we'll move down towards the vanishing point down below, moving in this direction, something kind of like that. So we'll play off the 1 point box and then utilize that further. So now if I say, okay, so maybe the center is right here, some stuff coming up kind of in through here, right, like so. And then maybe I want to come back over this direction, okay, like so, coming through. It's kind of a blimp in the beginning. So right in through here, then side, and then about center, about right in through there, and this goes back around like so. Okay, and then I want to connect up with that long sort of stem, and so that's why I need my box. I could bring this over. And where does this sit now on the side? It comes down, and then it starts to sit kind of down, and it angles down a little bit, doesn't it? Kind of at an angle like so. And I might be on the side, and then I might turn. Then I might say, okay, I'm turning. Now I'm going to turn this direction, true 1 point here, without any depth. And then this is the belly of it, right? You see that? It comes over and through and then down, and then this might go back. Maybe that's too deep. It ends a little bit like so. Could be like that. And now I've got an idea for this ship that we're working on in through here. So got that. So I might bring this down a little bit. We can add a little detail to it and finish this out in a nice manner here. So go through and up. Start putting some nice verticals through here and over, just giving symbols for that. This kind of starts to become an angle, like so, kind of out, maybe like that, even though this kind of keeps coming around. Through here, we might see this. We're looking at the back side of it, and I'm looking at the front, so that's cool. No problem. It really isn't a problem because we're just making it up. We're just having fun. Going back to the vanishing point through here, and this might sit on the bottom like that, and through there and up and around. Really can't see under it, so we'll just start making up junk, mechanical looking space stuffs to make our stuff work. Make your stuff work. All right. Into there and over. There's going to be underneath. Maybe this goes around. Maybe there's going to be some kind of opening looking up into there. And so we'll give it some more flappy kind of detail through there. So then it really kind of breaks up over through. And maybe this has a flap, so this comes up and through here to there, and then over. Maybe this might show up a little bit on that side, just a little bit, just to give it that element. Because then we're going to come down. We're going to come down with these lines. This is where it gets, I think, more fun, because this is a strange kind of looking ship thing. This is going to come straight over. These might end here, because here's our definite plane, and as we move through, and we come down, I'll make that nice and dark so we can see that. We'll diminish a little bit. Yeah, like I said, we'll increase it a little bit. We'll diminish it a little bit. There we go. All right, so we're coming down. This got some, whoops. Yep. Some cool looking stuff. More stuffs going on. into there. This kind of comes now across over to here. So these are a little flatter, right? And then these kind of these would come across like so. Actually, probably want to make these more the same size. Yeah, I don't really like that, but it's okay. Maybe we'll just cover it all up. Bury it back. Make a lot of mistakes. Bury it back in some tone. Nobody really knows. Right, there you go. Or you don't like it. That's cool. So this might come over. We'll give it some cool edges. So this comes down. And we could spend all day having fun here, no doubt. So I might take in some of these edges through here. This might go over. So let's bring this up a little bit. Go back to our pen. This might come down. Let's go make this a little bit deeper. And so now we're looking again underneath. Go back to our 1 point. Make sure we're always going back to our 1 point. Now this goes in an angle because it's ending in a triangle. All right. Okay. Take a bite out of that. And bite out of that. Coming down and in. Go back to your 1 point for depth. Just kind of keeping my ruler lined up. This one doesn't, and so I'm okay with that if it goes off at a different distance. It's okay if it does. Then I could go back and say that might be an angle hanging over, and I might say, okay, that could do that, and then we could have that together, kind of like so if we wanted. We could do that. Maybe we'll put this same thing on the other side over here, play around with that a little bit, like so. This might come back and in, like so, and through there. Okay. And we're just having a good old time. All right, so all things must come to an end, though. All good things. So I think that's good. Let's pull out now. Let's take a look and see what we've wrought here, what I've wrought here, and let's go out. I got that one right. All right, so I think for a demonstration, a sketch, I think we've got a good idea of what's going on. All right, so what we did was we took our illustration number 1 and we made a second illustration, number 2, by drawing on top of our 1 point cubic forms. So once we got a composition set in, we had some in the sky plane, ground plane, and eye level, then we added forms and structures on top. It's the lattice work. So hopefully I can demonstrate to you that not only does perspective help govern our vision, but it's a creative tool. It's a wonderful creative tool, and that it can be used in a variety of different ways, but it's also a very strong structural underpinning for forms that you want to draw. Not only mechanical forms, machines, vehicles, but also creatures, and certainly human forms. Don't forget that. It's such a powerful tool. Okay, so there you go. We'll move on now to illustration number 3, and we'll do a little bit more complex imaginary perspective drawing, and I'll show you how to do a 1 point scene, and we'll do the trash compactor scene in the Star Wars series, and we'll put show you how to sketch out the entire scene and what you're seeing and why, but in a very simple form, kind of direct, intuitive way. Okay? All right, so that's what's coming up next. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.